Like, what's your first earliest memories?
Scott came while like we were in the bouncy house, the big maze.
So you were probably about 4. You remember when you were 4 because Shayna was turning 3. Did you feel different when you were 4?
I felt like
Different from other kids in your class?
no,
What about in school when you got into elementary school and you went to public school? When you were 6?
well, I know, like, looking back on it, public school and videos, I knew I could tell that I was really different.
How?
Like my hyperness and
Or the way that you would need touch? Do you remember when you were really young, I used to put weighted vests on you?
yes, I do remember that.
Do you remember the therapist that used to come to the house? We had a music therapist who would sing.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Do you remember going to the Marcus Institute down in Atlanta?
Is that the playground?
No. It
Kids
was,
museum?
no. The Marcus Institute was an autism specific institute that just kind of tracked and followed you along the way. That was the second big place we took you to. When you've probably heard the story. When I took you, how old you were when I took you to get diagnosed?
2, 4.
2 years old, 3 months is when you got your diagnosis, but we knew a lot earlier.
Wow.
And so when was the first time that you were aware, like how old were you when you realized that you had something called autism?
I think I knew it from from a very young age, but then I actually realized where I was. Maybe I was like in when I was 9 or 10.
Oh, really? If someone were to say, what is autism for Charlie? Because autism is a spectrum, it's a range. There's, it's not even so much as severe versus less severe. It is different characteristics for each person with autism, but a lot of them overlap. So what sort of things, if you were to say, what is autism for Charlie? What is autism for Charlie? What does that look like?
I think it's basically that you're like, it's hard to fit in, it's like you're socially awkward. My speech impediment makes it even harder.
So you have speech apraxia as well.
Won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know.
And for autism as well, I feel like autism is like basically not being inclined to social interactions.
So you're not really like craving interacting with people.
But I would like to listen, and I would just like to just observe.
So you like, when there are people around, you like to observe it, you just don't necessarily want to interact with people?
I think another thing is that, do you think OCD is something with autism?
So that's a pretty common trait, is other mental illnesses, because he's not neurotypical. Your neurons, your neurological makeup is just not neurotypical. So you're
And I really wanna know if I never figure out where the road goes.
So sensory things, you used to wear the weighted vest, you would like seek out touch and pressure. And there was a time when I used to do you remember when I used to do
Yes.
the joint compression? I used to do brushing. You used to bring me this special,
I still have it in my room. I just have like
it was like a surgical brush. Also wore, when you were very young, like 3 years old, you would wear up to 20-25 pounds of extra weights in vests. And I would buy these individual weights, and we started out with maybe 5 pounds. And then we just kept adding more and more. And you would wear it for a short period of time and then take it off. And it would give you those receptors or a proprioceptor. You would also have movement, so we had a swing. We hung the swing in the doorway so that you can have movement. You had sensory playroom. Put the pack and play crib into the playroom, and we put all those big balls. We bought bags of balls and threw them in there so you can get in and just be kind of like smushed in with the balls, and you would just roll around. All your toys were things that you could mouth and you can touch, and different. You actually were hyposensitive. A lot of kids, which I saw as like the best gift, a lot of kids are hypersensitive. So loud noises would like really upset them. You never got upset going into a store or to school or the cafeteria where it was really loud. Never faced you. You didn't really have a problem with transition, which is a lot of people have a hard time. Even non-autistic people have a hard time with change. That didn't seem to be your problem. You did like routine, but change wasn't a problem. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, we have to go to a new place and how are we going to handle Charlie? That was never an issue.
Me not feeling pain or...
Oh yeah, that was another like one of those kind of blessing and a curse, because you didn't feel things the way you should have. We used to let you spin, like we had to learn how to let you spin just after meals, just at certain times, because we sent you to school early on. You went to ABA therapy for, from the time you were 2.5. Learning to potty train was hard because you just didn't feel things. What's a positive thing about autism?
It's nice to know that a lot of smart people have autism, like I was showing, but I know.
We're always amazed at what you know. It's just kind of like, what?
I have like different ways how to work through stuff, and I know that I have a dad that has autism, and I could work stuff out with him, and like have a person, at least one person or couple, to like share the experience with me with autism. I think another is like social interactions, like really being sensitive. I think I get that from Dad.
Very sensitive. Oh, very sensitive. Learned how to take a joke. You've picked up on sarcasm the last year or two. Mm-hmm. You're 15 now, but I would say around 13 occasionally. I mean, still to this day, you take things very literally, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how do you know if I'm being sarcastic?
I could tell if it's common sense. I have no friends.
You like that, or would it be nice to have a friend?
No friends. All my friends, like, we...
Would you like a friend?
No.
Why?
I think because I don't have any time for that. I don't feel like it will be my best need. Because I already... And that's same with like a partner, like a actual partner. I don't want that at all.
You don't want a spouse?
No, that's what God called me to do. I knew that's what you believe that God calls all of us to have.
Well, no. I mean, certainly some people are called to abstinence. They're called to chastity, to being chaste. Some are being chaste in their marriage. Some are being chaste, serving God in other ways. I feel like, though, we are made for community. We are made for relationship because that is what God is for us. So, I don't know. It makes me kind of sad to think you just don't even want friends because you have a lot to offer to people. Like, you're just a good person. If someone tried to be friends with you, would you push them away or would you accept their kindness and their friendship?
I would accept it because I don't want to make people feel bad and I don't want to hurt them. I want to be. I'm a people pleaser.
You are a people pleaser. You really do like to please people. But what is it you would like someone to know who doesn't know you well? What would you like them to know about you?
That I'm a good listener, that I might be socially awkward with you, and I might blink out sometimes. Jenna has always a good gift for people, like she always makes people comfortable with her. I don't think I have that skill.
I wish she was here, because honestly, she's upstairs. I think she feels awkward meeting new people. And she used to feel more comfortable with you when you guys were younger. She would go somewhere if she was nervous, if you were going. Like I'd say, Charlie, go. And you'd go and you'd take her and do stuff. But she felt uncomfortable.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions. How is it like to live with a spouse and son with autism?
I fell in love with it. I didn't even know it was autism until that was it. Just God made me to love different ability people. Like, what is it? Basically, it's like asking me, what is it like to love someone who's super smart and very, very sensitive to your needs? It's wonderful to know that I'm with someone who's very intelligent and who is always concerned about my happiness and about how I'm doing. That's lovely. That's not bad. I mean, there's lots of great things. And what's it like raising a son with autism? That's a little bit challenging because I mess up. I didn't know that.
Threatening to send you to military school when you were 7 was going to cause you so much stress and anxiety. So, and then raising you alongside Shayna, who was different. And wondering if you see the differences and if she sees the differences, because you got gymnastics and swimming and everything, and she got none of that. I felt like you needed things more than she did. I thought she can compensate with her own, neurotypicalness. But always pouring, driving around getting you to all of those therapy sessions and spending hours on medications for you because I did all those supplements when you were younger, and the diet thinking gluten-free food would help, and doing the shots, we did the B and methylamine 12 shots. Do you remember that? I think I did. Yeah, and then all the nerves.
I wish people knew that people with autism, I think, my experience, they're very kind, they're more understanding because they have like some hardships, like a lot of people, people have, but like mostly like social interactions and others.
Clothing has been a thing for you. For years, you could not wear jeans.
And I still wear dry weave.
Dry weave, and I used to call them swish pants that you wore for years. Now you just like to wear shorts, but they have to be just like, I don't even know what you call those shorts, athletic shorts. Sensory, you like to have things tight.
I like to have everything on me, but...
And you also like to, like, when you go places, you have certain things you have to bring.
Like water, my phone.
And you had 2 watches, and we kind of cut up the...
Okay. Hey guys, we hope you liked that video. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell again.
What am I supposed to say?